Hello and welcome to Two Indoor Gaming. We are back with life in the industrial village, and it's all the same, but it's all the different. What am I on about? It has been updated. That's right, I just talked about how they don't update very often, and it's true, it hasn't been updated very often. It's at currently version 3.1. Version 3 came out in July, several months ago, and before that, version 2 was last December. So, yeah, but all of a sudden, it's been updated, and boy, what an update it is. It's such a big update that I've restarted. I've tried and got back to pretty much where I was before, so I'm not boring you with repetition, but I will let you know what's going on. They have updated 33 files, so we now have some very interesting things like there's stuff to buy at the shop. Sweet! You've got options aplenty now, and let me tell you, this netherrack comes in handy. Definitely comes in handy when you start getting into some of that better with mod stuff. We have some medkits, nice, and okay, warp stones and stuff, some modifiers for your tinker's tools, pretty expensive but nice, and food, a few food items which could come very much in handy. I know when I restarted my the world I did have, just to see if it would break it. It didn't break it. There were like 409 entities went missing. The list mostly showed unique crop stuff, though nothing seemed to be a big deal, really. The other major thing that has changed is we now have Tektopia. Tektopia, which is a mod I know absolutely nothing about. I know of it, and that's simply because my younger son, he's 8, he uses my YouTube channel. He's too young to have his own YouTube account, so just for safety and precaution or whatever, he uses mine, which means that I get a whole bunch of stuff in my subscription feed that I've not subscribed to, but he has, and he loves watching Minecraft videos, so occasionally even watches mine, and mostly the big names, you know. He's 8. What can I say? And a few people have played Tektopia, so I've seen Tektopia sort of pop up in my subscription feed, but I've not actually watched it. I don't know anything much about it. I had a quick look at the mod description on CurseForge, and it changes your village. It changes your village, so that's why I've set up this house close to a village. I've not explored it yet. I want to do that with you, but not this particular episode. I'm just going to run through a few basic things that I think is pretty important, yeah, for you to know. I'm not sure how much has changed since the update and how much I just wasn't aware of, but just playing through a little bit, I've really worked a few of the details that are really annoying, but important to know, and most of it has to do with hunger. Oh boy, hunger. Now, as you can see, I'm pretty hungry down there, and up in the top right corner it says peckish. And now we'll go to Hungary and whatever. And when I was exploring, mostly I was doing better with mod stuff, the mechanic stuff. Just for a refresher, some of it I hadn't gone through. I just wanted to run through that myself, so I just play that through with 3.1, and I died of hunger. You know how in vanilla Minecraft, when you get hungry, you it starts to go clunk, 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 and you take damage? No. In this one, I checked the configs and whatever, and just to try and work out what was happening. When you hit hungry, as in your saturation is empty, so down here, when that's empty, you immediately take 200 damage. So it's basically an insta-kill. If you get hungry, you're dead. I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, I was just like, oh, I should probably eat something. Bleh, died of hunger. Oh, that's not good. So be aware of that. Hunger is not something to take lightly, but of course it's got the biggest, deepest aspects of the spice of life, in that food does not satisfy you very much. You will be eating a lot, and you might think, well, that's okay, it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad, except when it comes to you're trying to get a windmill and you need hemp and you need to do all of that stuff, and you use a hand crank, it kills you for hunger. Seriously, these plants, keep them around. Keep them around. They will spread, but just leave one. But you will be harvesting a lot of stuff. Okay, leave one so that it continues to spread for you. Definitely, food is a big issue. Hey, something's happening. I'm just going to pause here and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, yeah, I'm back, and see, now the thing with this hunger overhaul is another mod that's on, and what it means is that everything grows really slowly or not at all. I planted carrots and nothing happened. Seriously, it was on growth 0% after days. I'm not sure exactly what the rules are with that and blah 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 do to do. Oh look, I just stuffed that up. Yeah, so that's the thing. The one thing that doesn't seem to be affected is industrial hemp. So that's what I use my garden for. It's just the industrial hemp. And you'll need a lot of that, because to make a windmill so that you can automate your grinding, it takes let's just look it up. It's a grind, let me say. If there's a quicker way and I missed it somehow, please tell me, because this is painful. It is really painful. So you got a windmill, and so for that you need 4 wind sails. For wind sail you need 6 hemp cloth. For 1 hemp cloth you need 9 hemp fibers. For 3 hemp fibers you need 1 piece of hemp that you harvest. So yeah, what's the mass on that? So let's see, 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 9 is 216. Going off the top of my head, 216. So divide that by 3, and you're looking at 60, roughly 65. Yeah, I think that's about right. So you're going to need to harvest 65 bits of hemp. Grind all of them just to make your windmill. And it's painful. Let me just tell you that it's painful, and it takes a lot of food, because just grinding out, I think 9 string will take your whole all of it. And when you basically 1 carrot gives you half of one of those, you just calculate how much food. I'm not going to do the maths on that one, but we're talking some serious food requirements, and when you can't even grow them, yeah, hunger is a deal. Look, I can understand the desire to make hunger somewhat realistic, and it's fine when you're just running around and fighting and whatever, but when you've got to use that hand crank, and the fact that takes so much. If you don't know what I'm talking about here, the hand crank, the hand crank on the millstone, the fact that takes so much of your endurance, that is the killer. Once you get past that to the windmill, you're fine. You're back to foods, okay, keep an eye on it, but it's not too much of a grind. But until that point, mate, you will be crying. Anyway, so yeah, I really wanted to just look at that for you. It is a thing. It's a real thing. Now, another thing I didn't get a chance to talk about is density. Now, this was there before. You'll notice here, pickaxe level iron. Let me just keep going. Level stone. Yeah, well, that was something else. Pickaxe level diamond. Now, the deeper I go, level obsidian. Okay. Now, this level here was actually constructed by the house, so it's level stone. As soon as you get through that, it's level obsidian. And that's the thing called density. So it's like the weight of all the rock on top of it means that it's more condensed, and therefore requires a much, what's the term? a dense, I don't know, a stronger tool basically to get through it. So you can't just skip down there. Ooh, these are always handy. Just remember, got to condense this into cobblestone. Do like so. Okay, yeah. So there's some nice free materials. Always nice. And considering the other grind I've got to do, I'm not ashamed to take that free stuff. I really am not ashamed at all. There we go. Yeah, I may as well take this as well. Or it can come in handy for other items. There. Don't need two dirt. I can get that myself. So that's a factor. You can't just skip down to the bottom to get at your redstone, gold, diamonds, that sort of stuff. You're going to need a much better pickaxe. Fortunately, you can increase the density of your flint pickaxe with a diamond or an emerald. And you can get those with trading with villagers, and apparently that's it's easier with this Tektopia. I don't know. And also killing mobs, they'll sometimes drop you a nice diamond just for effect. Thanks for that. Yes, what else? Well, I did actually have some other video recorded, but they updated before I could upload it, so I'm just trying to cover what I covered in those other videos, quick and simple like. Now, so we've got our basics here. I should eat some more food. Get that variety thing happening too, which is nice. There we go. I knew I was due soon. Okay, see, I'm starting this. I've already started stockpiling food because I just know it's going to be rough. I might put my furnace in here just for a nice. It's not very comfortable there, but over here with the mine shaft just sort of got in the way a little bit. You can use the sawdust for fuel, by the way, which is handy. I'm going to cook up some stones because I'm going to need that for the millstone. Diorite rock. Okay, I don't need to be carrying that around. Yeah, hemp seeds, that will grow just like regular crops, i.e. very slowly. Yeah, that's it. You just cannot believe the grind. If you've played, actually, you can believe the grind. So yeah, so that's the big update. Tektopia 33 files updated. You got your shop stuff now. I did want to quickly go through the Akashic Tome too, because that's one thing I'm not sure many people will be familiar with. It depends on how many mod packs you've played, I guess. I'll just collect all of these lovely rewards. Am I filling up? Oh yeah, I wanted to show you the book. The food book. This is cool. It will show you, yeah, how many more foods you need to get your boosts down here. And how many of... There's 1,189 different foods. Minimum food value is 0.5. Boring food tasted. Blacklisted foods. No. So yeah, so it'll just show you all the different foods you can eat to get that variety boost going. Yeah. Now, where's the Akashic Tome? It should be one of these rewards. Yeah, donuts. Is that materials and you? Notice how I'm building up all of these books? That's what the Akashic Tome is supposed to take care of for you. Now, I recommend saving your money until you're ready to spend it on Netherrack. You can't finish the Hibachi quest without going to the Nether, as far as I can tell, but you can do most of these just by buying. Like, I got up to here. Here you couldn't do that one, but I got all of this except for that one. All of this done up to here without going near the nether. And that was pretty cool. So keep that in mind. Okay, so where's the Akashic Tome? What is it? It's a book. It's the one book to rule them all, and in the darkness bind them. You notice how many books I got hanging around? It's a bit boring. It's taking up too much space. Well, look at this. What? The Akashic Tome will eat the other books for you. But they don't disappear. They're still there. See? Materials in you, food book, materials in you, armory addendum. Bleh. There's a couple of cool things with this. So all I did to open that was right click while holding it. Now if I want it to be the food book, it's now the food book. When I open it, it will be the food book. But what if I don't want it to be the food book anymore? I don't want it to be the food book anymore. Well, as long as you're not pointing directly at a block, like so, and you left click, it'll turn back into the tome. And you can choose something else. Ta-da! So that's pretty serious. So right click opens it up. And after you choose something, materials are new, and you want to revert it, just point at nothing and left click. What else can you do with it? Well, this is pretty cool. If you point at something and you shift right click, see the moment it's the Akashic Tome, but if I shift right click, it will turn into materials are new. So when you're pointing to a block, it will change to the relevant book if you shift and right click it. If you don't have the book that's relevant, apparently, I'm not sure if it's switched on this mod, I'm not going to test it now, it will open up a wiki page for you. So that's pretty cool. So if you're like, oh, how do I use this? What's this about? You just shift right click and it will open up the relevant book. Nice, huh? So revert it. If you want to get rid of a book, right? You want to get rid of a book. Let's say I am totally sick of this one. I don't want it. I don't need it anymore. I don't want it anymore. What you do is you hold down your sneak button and then you throw it. And it will throw it out of the tome for you. See, it's gone. And it's chucked it on the ground. So, yeah, so you select the book you want. I'll just show you that again. You select the book you want. I want this one and I don't want it anymore. Hold down sneak, throw, which is your Q button, and it will throw it out of the tome for you. And that's it. That's pretty cool. Now, one thing to be aware of, there are some recipes that use your books, like there's cooking for blockheads. Now we bring that up. Ooh, wrong button. It's got several books in it. See how it's got book 1? To make book the next level, you actually craft. See? You put it in your crafting table and you make the second one. Then when you've got the second one, you can make the third one, and so on and so forth. Be aware, if you do that from your tome, you may actually lose everything. So if I had like the Cooking for Blockheads book selected here, and so it looked like Cooking for Blockheads, and then I put it in to craft it, I could actually lose the tome and every other book with it. So make sure you take it out, do that throw before you convert it. That's just a factor to be aware of, lest you lose all of your books in one go. Groovin'. I think that's about all I want to catch up on, except for one little teeny tiny item, and that is actually storage blocks. But I also did want to send just a little thank you to Wen the Coolest, who left a comment on my previous video, just giving me some tips on how to set up this construct so that it all works much nicer together. Thank you, Wen. And but yes, as I was saying, I was going to show you storage block in case you've not. Okay, I need some more wood. Before I do anything else, okay, I should be planting some trees because I've used up all the nearby trees. Yeah, this'll do. That'll be enough. Yeah, this is one of the quests, and it's a pretty handy. I've played a bit with it in Stone Block. It's probably where I've used it the most. Click on any of these, then I'll go to the crafting station. And this is... I've got to remember to actually combat it first. Where are we? Here we are. This is good for those things that you get piles and piles and piles of. Like, look, I've already got a lot of gravel and stone. They take up a lot of chest space. You don't want that. It's you get over it, right? So you put in a basic drawer. What a basic drawer will do is basically whatever the first thing you right click with it will store that and only that. That's why there's a nice pretty picture on the front. It will only store cobblestone now. All I have to do to get rid of the cobblestone in my inventory is to right click. If I double right click, it'll get rid of all of that item in my inventory. And so now I'll look at it, and you can see in the top corner over here, 192. And you can upgrade that so it can hold just massive amounts of that resource for you. So that was one of the quests here, back here. Boop, boop, boo. Yeah. So that's a handy thing to have. So you can set it up for like your basic things, cobblestone, dirt, gravel, whatever things things you accumulate a lot of and you want to keep for terraforming or just whatever your needs are. Building later, doing your big fancy creations, and that just means you're not having 500 of these sitting around littering your house everywhere. Storage drawers. Yeah, very helpful. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover this. So we got the big update, gave you the Akashic Tome, there's a little storage, density, hunger, oh my gosh, keep our hunger. And like I said, if you know a way to get that windmill quicker than using that hand crank so many times, please let me know. I couldn't work it out. I searched around, I looked for shortcuts, cheats, whatever, not cheats, but little skip arounds, couldn't find any. Doesn't mean they're not there, so if you know of them, let me know. Otherwise, boy, stockpile your food. Oh look, I've got some hemp grown. I'll just show you that. So now we can just chop the top one off and the bottom one will keep growing for us. And we've got our first hemp. Now we only need about, what did I say before? 62 more of those? And grind every one of them. Ooh, boy. Hey, did I actually... I need more. I'll just chuck all of that in. Oh yeah, if you want to get that out, just... you just left click or shift left click to get a whole stack. See? Left click for one, shift left click for the whole stack. I'll put a bunch in there. So it feels like I've using my charcoal for good. And let's eat a donut. I've earned it. Okay, that's all do for this episode. Next episode, I think I might go visit that village. Let's have a little look at Tektopia. All the villages have changed apparently. It'll be very interesting to see. Thanks for watching.